lot of people asking me, well, exactly what are the biggest red flags? What should we look out for? And these are things that on your date that you're, or it could be that you're already sort of seeing somebody and they appear later, right?
Yeah.
Not all, some people are pretty good at hiding these things in the first few months, which is why you don't want to make any major decisions for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. There are some things that are a little bit red flag that you can overlook and you might be able to work on as a couple. But those are small, those are more pink flags than red flags. Okay, so recognizing the red flags early is going to save you a lot of trouble down the road. Because if you fall in love with them within that 6 month time frame and then they start showing these things, you're kind of toast. Like, how do you get out of it?
And you get stuck.
You get stuck and you plan something. If you want to have a relationship with somebody down the road, you've got to plan it. Unless you're okay with a booty call.
That's true. Unless you're just looking to have some fun and a casual drink with somebody as a mock date, like a simu date, a last minute date.
Yeah. And if you're involved with somebody and you've been with them for a few months and they pick a fight with you, all of a sudden they start picking these fights with you and then they're gone to Vegas for a couple of days after. This is
a red flag.
Believe it or not, this happens a lot. Yeah. People are too nervous to say, you know, do you mind if I go? So they pick a fight and they go away for 2 weeks. The last minute call, the Friday, Saturday night date, they call you at 7:30. It's like they've already gone through the black book, or you were a last priority. You're busy. They call you Friday or Saturday late. I don't care, male, female, anybody who does this, they are not respecting your time. They're using the situation to benefit them. Their time's more important than yours. Okay, and then there's the people who say they're separated. Yeah, they're living down the hall from each other, or there's a pillow separating them in their bed. Like, you got to make sure if they're phoning you from a cell phone that...
Or a payphone.
Or a payphone. Yeah, if they phone you from a payphone, that's a really big red flag this day. Is there even payphones around anymore? If your man shows up in the wood panel station wagon with car seats in the back and he says he's not married and has no kids, you couldn't get any more blatant with that one, okay? You want somebody, if they have kids, that they're there for their kids.
Yeah.
Especially if, like say I'm a single mom, I'm dating a guy who's a single dad, and he never puts his kids first. Do I want him in my life? Because he's going to be around my kids.
You know what, that's a big thing in my generation. I just have to say that, like, I know a lot of women and men who have kids and they're single parents, right? Because, I mean, it's happening a lot now where people don't actually work out with the person they have a kid with. And I noticed that there's an abundance of party parents, like, that are single parents, but they still have these, you know, they still have the social life of a single person.
So, ladies, unless you like cross-dressers, if you come across any women's underwear in your guy's place at all, that's a big red flag.
There's a man somewhere who's been stealing women's underwear, and he got caught recently with 11,000 pairs of underwear.
Yeah, there's a lot of men that have fetishes, and that's what I'm saying. It's okay if you're okay with it. But if you're dating somebody and in the beginning you come across 11,000 pairs of underwear in some guy's drawer, you gotta, as I said in the beginning, if you're okay with cross-dressers, fine. But it also could mean that the guy's got women around that there's underwear. Same with a guy. If you're dating a woman and there's a lot of men's clothing in the closet.
Yeah.
I don't think she's over him.
She's got like a whole like football, like you know, whole football jersey collection.
No, or she's got every sporting thing of, you know, all different sizes. She's got like a sporting shop set up.
Her sports memorabilia room is actually just an abundance of ex-boyfriend's clothing.
Red flags? You've got to get out of it, and you've got to be aware of these. So this is a safety issue. Okay, we're trying to make light of some of the ones here, but anything where somebody talks down to you, whether it's male, female, get out of it, because it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's a big red flag that women especially do ignore. Yeah.
Yeah, they think, well, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to be the one that changes that. He's not going to do that with me. Or she, and you know, and for guys, some guys, there's a lot of guys out there who get quite whipped, and they've got women that control them, and they sit there and go, and they make excuses. So it's not just a female thing anymore. A lot of men are becoming very pussy whipped. And
you know, it's okay to cut it off at the red flag that you really can't live with. You don't try to overlook it, because it will eventually bother you down the road. It will. Like, if you're not getting sex or something like that, like, and that's a, you know, that's a big thing for you. Don't let that continue, because you're like, oh, well, maybe I can get over that. But then over time, you're just going to resent that person even more for the fact that you're, you know, not getting what you want. And, you know,
Yeah.
The longer you wait, the harder it is.
So safety, you know, sexual incompatibility, aggressive sex, you know, just somebody who's verbally abusive or uses humor at your expense all the time. These are things that are really not okay. You want to, you know, stop those before it happens. And another thing for both sexes, this is, as in closing, I want to draw attention to this. If somebody comes into your life fast,
they're going to
usually
leave
go
fast.
out fast. Like the odd time you might meet somebody and everything flows and it's wonderful, but 99% of the time, if they come in fast and they tell you all these wonderful things, they usually go out fast because they're good at it. They're just used to doing that. That's how they work. That's how they operate. So be very aware of somebody who wants all this stuff really quickly with you. And try and go out there and have really safe, fun dating. But watch out for the red flags.
And the food stamps.